I just have one
Thanks.
comment. Thank you for a most absolutely fascinating lecture. I really
Thank you.
appreciate your also talking about the Sogdians. And this is just a comment that our main star, when you walk into the Silk Road exhibition, you'll see the man from Yingpan, who is believed to be a Sogdian trader, very, very wealthy trader. Now, you only see the trappings, you do not see the face of the mummy because I think it dissolved. But if you look at the textile, there's such a similarity between the slide and that image, the detail of it. So it was just, I really appreciate that.
No, definitely. I mean, they had the money to buy the silk and to make these dresses. You know, they're wealthy, so they buy the best dress. Absolutely. And again, a great exhibit. It certainly surpassed all of my expectations. You had a question, please.
When we think about the life hereafter,
Yes.
and we look what Emperor Qin did in China, and we look at what the pharaohs did in Egypt, do you find any other evidence of that type of preparing for the hereafter in the other religions and so?
Absolutely. I think more people are concerned about what happens afterwards. That is meditating of what's going to happen when I'm dead and what is the next life if there's a next life. Manichaeans are very clear in this. But more importantly, Zoroastrians are very detailed, I think, about what happens when you die, where does your soul go, what will happen at the end of time, how you will be judged if there's a judgment, if there's what is a heaven, what is a hell. Again, very much detail that you find from the Silk Road and the Iranian world, with mainly the Manichaeans, but more importantly the Zoroastrians.
And do you think one learned from the other? Did they share
Okay,
that?
well,
or was it the old story, independently created?
Well, I don't have an answer to it per se. I, as a historian, don't think anything comes from the thin air. There may be different ideas happening simultaneously, but always contact is very important. Encounter brings about exchange of ideas, and sometimes they take place within their own cultural milieu. So, there's a question there. Yes? Oh, the mic is coming.
Yes. What dangers did people face on the Silk Road specifically?
For one thing, you had a very bad desert there. So you could end up dying of thirst, and your camels dying. Even worse if you're a Sogdian, probably losing all the goods that you had. Imagine, investing in all those silk and then getting it lost. That was horrible. We should think of disease. I mean, there's a mummy here, but it's much older, of a baby. Actually, child mortality was quite high because people weren't, of course, were getting sick, and they didn't have the medical, of course, knowledge that we have, or even in the Middle Age, let's say in the 11th century, where there is actually this, in the Middle Eastern world, there is very interesting medical work being done. The idea in relation to alcohol, bacteria and whatnot, that doesn't even exist. So there's always a chance that you would die, closer than you're 40 years old, about my age, a little more I am than 40, than actually surviving until late age. So it was a constant danger, actually. So it's very good to know about what's going to happen in the next life, because you may die. You want to know that.
You use the mic at the end.
Well, I just wondered if there were any Turks in Central Asia.
Yes, they were. From the 5th century, we have evidence of Turkic tribes moving westward into what is Central Asia, Khorasan area. They are sometimes co-opted, and other times there's war going on. A wall sometimes is being built to stop nomadic tribes. So we're talking about nomadism in general, right? Versus the sedentary population. Some of these texts that I showed in the beginning, they were in Turkic. And so they were certainly there. The Manichaeans, as I mentioned, the last group to adopt Manichaeism, and then Manichaeism disappears in the 14th century. So by the 9th century, the Turks are becoming the master of this Near Eastern world. But that's when I exactly was ending my talk, about 9th, 10th century. But by the time they become the sultans and they take over as the military arm of the Abbasid Caliphate in the 9th century, they are the masters of the Near Eastern world, and then all the way to the Mediterranean, at least Eastern Mediterranean, for a good number of years. And I know you're very interested in the Turks. That's why you asked. That's it.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
thank you so very much. I really appreciate the lecture, Dr. Daryaee. That was an amazing lecture. I know already people were asking for maybe having it one more time for those who missed that. I just want to make an announcement. On July the 25th, we are having another program sponsored by the Persian Cultural Arts Council and the Farhang Foundation, which you will hear about it later on in the future programs. An American lady named Rowan Storm, who has traveled to Asia and to Iran, will be performing the music of Iran and Asia, which will be quite interesting. So with all the talk about all of this mingling and mixing of cultures, so we could see it in modern day time too, that an American lady will be here with a group of performers playing this wonderful music and storytelling and dances. The flyer is out there, and I'm inviting you all to join us, and I think if you like this program, we will be happy if you would support us in any other way that you can. And don't forget to visit the artists out there. They've been waiting to at least get their art shown. And I appreciate you coming in. Thank you very much, and goodbye.